Hello! It's time for the winners finals. We have two amazing players, StarTail Life going up against Liquid TaeJa. The only two players to have gone undefeated so far. 6 games won, 0 games lost. They now face off to decide who will be the first player to make it to the grand finals, the overall finals of DreamHack Winter. The winner goes right there.
We see here Life demolishing several Terrans. Almost every Terran that's actually played in this tournament has had a taste of Life's pain, and he has just been on a roll, showing some fantastic micro and control in the last series against Innovation. And this guy, TaeJa, playing incredibly well. Don't think he's actually played as many Terran versus Zerg series, if any, in this tournament so far. So this is going to be a bit of a fresh look. Can he pull something out that the other Terran players were not able to stop this monstrosity that is the StarTail Zerg?
I think if one guy can do it, it may be that man on stage, Liquid TaeJa. They've both gone through remarkable opponents so far in this tournament. Both have had, different but great years this year in 2013. TaeJa's won 4 major tournaments in the last couple of months, and then we have Life, who recently won the Intel Extreme Masters New York, and then earlier the year he had a lot of success as well. Last year was massive, but here he is playing some of the absolutely top-tip StarCraft we could see from a Zerg player at this tournament, winning games that look like it's almost impossible to do so, and he really is on fire.
He's played so smart, as you said, those situations where it's not even just the raw macro games. He just completely brutalized Pult in one of the first series of the whole tournament, but in that last series against Innovation, down behind, 2-2 versus no upgrades, able to win. Guys, let's see who can take this. This is going to be, I think, probably one of the most high-octane matches we've had today. Welcome to Akalon Wastes. It's time for the winners final. And our first player in the northwest position, the Red Terran, an unstoppable monster. Can he continue to defy the odds? From Team Liquid, it is TaeJa. And his opponent, who has killed many a Terran player in this tournament so far, from Team StarTail, it is Life.
Life's list of victims already in this tournament: MMA, JYP, Pult, Stardust, Naniwa, Innovation. An incredible list. TaeJa's list of players he's been through already: Innovation, SOS, 4GG, Show, Liquid Hero, and then of course MMA we just saw. Both of these players just beating the top tier StarCraft 2 players that we have in the scene. So far both are 6-0. Who will make it 7-0? Who will make it to the grand finals?
Well, that's really the question, isn't it? I think the most interesting part of this whole game is that TaeJa's Terran versus Zerg, we have not seen this tournament. We've seen Life pull out some very fast Zergling Baneling aggression. We've seen him hold cheese with almost no problem whatsoever. And we've also seen him play out the very late macro game against both MMA and Pult. And it's just going to come down to, does TaeJa have what it takes to beat him in this head-to-head matchup? Life's playing the exact style that we anticipate. Hatchery first, then the gas, then the spawning pool. And TaeJa, he's just going to Reaper expand. Pretty standard openings from both players, to be honest.
That's right. Standard openings for an excellent series I'm sure we're all going to experience here. Remember, at DreamHack Bucharest, the tournament that Life qualified to get to DreamHack Winter here, these two players met in the semi-final, and it wasn't close. TaeJa did go 2-0 on the road to the final, where he beat out Innovation 3-0. The last time they met, TaeJa took it. Will he repeat that success here? I don't think so, because Life played a great tournament at Bucharest, no doubt. Finishing top 4 at that stacked tournament is a great finish. But at this tournament, he's showing signs of similar play to what he showed at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, where he was on domination mode. He was unstoppable.
He's played almost perfectly, you could say, and that's one of the reasons why he has the 6-0 match score. The Reaper's going to come in as scout, but I mean, Life has shown time and time again that he's not really vulnerable to this early Terran pressure that a lot of players bring, or if he does take damage, he can find ways to compensate, pull himself back. The Reaper is now trying to deal a little bit of pain. Queens are just past halfway done. Hasn't really killed off much of anything with this Reaper yet, and of course Life likes to keep those Zerglings alive. He's one of the players that's he makes Zerglings do things that Zerglings shouldn't even be able to do, it feels like, with just how much damage he does. Reaper finally might get something, still nothing yet. Life's control pretty solid. Finally loses a Zergling to this Reaper, and now the Queens are out.
Yeah, now the Queens are out and this Reaper won't really be able to do anything. But what it did see, by the way, is that it was, as you described, a hatchery extractor, then spawn and pull build. With this build, speed is pretty much done exactly on 6 minutes. So it's 5 minutes 15 at the moment. There's 45 seconds before that upgrade is done. Does TaeJa want to be around coming up to that point? No, he doesn't. He does not want to lose the Reapers. It's a little bit sloppy because the Reapers, yes, they're becoming more and more useless as that clock approaches 6 o'clock, but or 6 minutes, should I say. But when the Hellions are out and they're together with the Reapers, that's when he can go back in. That's when he can do damage. But look at this build here. We have double gases taken. We have a barracks with a tech lab and a starport right next to it, hidden away, bear in mind, from StarTale Life.
Yeah, it seems to be that TaeJa's opting for a Hellion Banshee-based composition in the early phase of this game as Life takes the third hatchery. And, well, let's see. That barracks should be swapping over any second now. There it goes. The starport moving on to this tech lab. Banshees, is he going to opt for the cloak as well? There it is. So he's going to commit a little bit to this. And we saw Innovation actually try to bring a bit of this pressure. It didn't work out too bad. That was the game he obtained the early lead in. If you keep the Hellions and the Reapers with that Banshee, if you apply pressure to a Zerg player that likes to play heavy Zerglings, there's a lot of opportunity to not only keep them away from your base, but to keep their unit count low, push them back, and it's a great way to deny the creep. The Overlord comes in, but we can see the positioning of this. I mean, TaeJa has the best opportunity to deny this scout that he's going to get from any other place he can put this, save his natural. He's also getting the tech lab on the barracks. So the Overlord might get the read on this.
He wants to get there, and he sees the tech lab, he sees the starport. A great move there by Life, and he does pick up that he is playing against Cloak Banshees. And immediately will begin Spore Crawlers, and pretty fast here we'll see eventually the layer coming out so we can get to Overseers. But a nice move there from Life. Gets the information he needed, because that could have been deadly if it wasn't gathered.
Yeah, and the Hellions and the Reapers are here trying to press the front. There's 3 Queens, though, for Life. He'll soon have a Transfuse. He actually uses one pretty damn fast. He's playing with 5 Queens overall, so he's keeping 3 out front, waiting for that third hatchery, which is now complete. Of course, he has to get a little bit more comfort zone here. Actually brings out the 4th Queen and starts to produce another. So he's going to play a 6 Queen, very defensive setup. Zergling's already trying to slip around the side for Life. We can see he says, okay, your army is here. TaeJa's actually committed quite a bit to the Hellions. He's got a couple extra more than you normally see, 8 of them, trying to press through these Queens. The Zerglings come up, though. He's starting to take out a few of them. The ramp being pressed up. TaeJa, a fast wall off helps. This command center's taking a lot of damage.
This command center's taking a lot of damage from some of these Hellions at the moment. That command center does not really want to get destroyed. Oh, it's gonna get destroyed, maybe. Yeah, it does. Nice pick up there by Life. And he breaks the front wall, and those Zerglings will start to pick off a couple of SCVs as well. And the SCVs do lose a couple of them, but he does clean up the Zerglings. Oh, another squad of Zerglings going to go around, but that wall off is there once again. And these Hellions and Banshees, they've only been doing damage to Queens, buffering the rest of the drones behind, saving them to a certain extent. But look here, he could do it again.
There's still only a single Marine, and a second one is coming forward. If he were to kill us off again, that would be catastrophic for the Team Liquid players. Actually bringing the Hellions back. The first loss of the command center was bad enough. The double engineering bay now rolling along, but Life's a little bit ahead in the upgrades. And I still feel killing that command center gives a huge lead. Now TaeJa's Banshee's headed towards the main base. This is, I don't know, already a really nice opening for the StarTale Zerg player.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. He's got the Spire down, he's got an Overseer being made just in case these Banshees randomly come into the main base with Cloak. And he's got a pretty good drone count, increasing it further with 10 more about to pop out. But these 2 Banshees with just a single Queen, and Life targets the low health one. Of course he targets the low health one, and then runs the Queen back to the Spore Crawler. Excellent move there from StarTale Life. A couple of drones are going to get picked off in between these 2 bases. But the Banshee won't be able to do too much more in this game. Maybe deny a 4th base from being taken, but he's not going to get to the drone line. Look at the difference of the upgrades. StarTale Life's had a much more streamlined build, a much normal build compared to TaeJa, who did go for the Banshee, did have his 3rd base slowed down a little bit, and through all of that, has gained a lead in this game, which we could see him exploit once those upgrades are finished.
And it's just really crazy to think that Life's managed to obtain this lead without doing anything extravagant. The evolution chambers were well timed. He didn't do anything super greedy though. He just managed to play a good defense versus TaeJa and bring that pressure that he classically does to the table. That 2-2, as you mentioned, is going to be finished at a really nice time. If you can maintain an upgraded advantage as a Zerg, that's a huge boon to the mid-game stage where the Terran player, typically speaking, gets an upgraded advantage themselves. And I'm kind of wondering how fast Life will be looking at that potential Hive Tech, or if he's going to try to continue to push the upgrades, or if as this Baneling Nest comes through, he really starts to amp up the aggression, already trying to press this natural once more as TaeJa looks to take his third base.
Ooh, nice close off wall there. Hellions even come in for a couple of pot shots on these Zerglings. They're trying to wiggle their way back to the Marines for help. And all of them get picked off apart from one there. But one thing I want to notice, even though StarTale Life is really ruling this game for the majority of it, one thing that's missing is creep spread in a line away from his fourth base. That's going to be a location where TaeJa will want to eventually waypoint units down. And there is no creep spread around that fourth base. It's going to make things easier for TaeJa. We are seeing creep push down in that direction a little bit now. But if TaeJa starts moving out with the medivets that he has, a couple of scans are going to push that even further back. But with a threat of Mutalisk, before it finishes just in the nick of time. Still, that is a danger point for StarTale Life as the game goes on.
Yeah, now, I mean, Life's starting to just push up the Mutalisk count more. We see him do a great job of using pressure to keep the Terran back away from the base so that he can buy a time either for play or just bringing further harass. And now TaeJa's stepping out, trying to take out some of these creatures. He even still has these Banshees alive, opting not to just throw these away. Helping out a little bit. And he's actually going to send them to harass this base. The Spore Crawler's not quite planted yet, so he might be able to pick off at least a few drones. Overseer, of course, coming with these Mutalisks won't last too much longer.
And TaeJa is around that fourth area now. I'm pretty sure he's going to scan, and there it is, just to get rid of the creep tumors. He is going to run away from these Banelings who do not have Baneling speed yet. Oh, Widowmine actually does a little bit of damage to those Marines instead. He does evacuate out, and StarTale Life does take, or at least pushes TaeJa away from that and will retake that area for some creep, but he did kill the creep tumors. Still an important position for TaeJa.
Important to note, 2-2 is complete for Life. He's got that upgraded advantage. 2-2's just about to hit the halfway. Claw's also starting, but this is where Life's really starting to say, hey, I've got my economy set up most of the way that I wanted to for this game. 82 drones, very comfortable on that setup, and now the Banelings count. More Zerglings swarming across the field. Akalon Waste is probably about as good as a defensive map as you're going to get versus this type of heavy harass style, but here he goes, chasing down these rocks and can potentially try to hit this fourth base. TaeJa targeting down a few of these Banelings, keeping the pressure away from him.
Life turns around. He's going to take a fight here. There's a lot of Marines. And it looks like TaeJa is going to win that ground war. Didn't trade off too many units, though, just a couple of Bangs and Zerglings. And from here, 2-2 is soon to be completed from TaeJa, but he cannot allow Life to have the freedom that he's having currently. He's untouched across 4 bases, he's increased his Mutalisk count, he's increasing his Baneling count, and I think that's starting to get a little bit scary for TaeJa. Once these 2-2 upgrades complete, he has to start doing something in this game. Otherwise, it is going to start to slip away.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where you either have to try to bring that pressure or you have to play ball and get your own extra expansions up. Life swinging around the right side, and these Zerglings actually going to trigger a couple of these Widow Mines. I think he's going to realize just how many are here. Drilling Claws, he can burrow quickly, but the bio not in position just yet. We're seeing TaeJa even already move into some Thor production behind us. 2-2's very, very close. With good splits, he could take a fight here, but, I mean, Life is maxed out. He has a huge army, and he could even try to just force this. He's coming in from a couple of directions. The Widow Mines, he needs the big hits, using them against TaeJa, and he's pressing him back towards the natural, starting to head up towards that ramp. Everything's funneling in. There's no bunkers. The Widow Mines hurting more and more of the bio. This choke point is pretty nice for TaeJa to spread out in front of, but the Medivacs being picked off all but 2 by these Mutalisks, and Life says, no, I actually have enough Mutas to fight these Marines. Head on, more Zerglings filling in. 26 rallied across the Thor, about to come out, but these Marauders not enough to stop this army. Life is already getting a huge advantage. The Banelings heading towards the natural mineral line. The Thor is out, but what can it do at this point? The third base left open as well. Command Center has to lift off. He's attacking this with the Mutalisks. A couple missile turrets get protected for the time being, but once those SCVs die, there's no repair available. Marines coming down the ramp. 28 Zerglings coming in, trying to drop the third base of Life at the same time, not able to continue to bring that pressure, and it looks like Life is going to come back to defend a little bit, try to just stabilize his setup and look for the next attack.
Good defense there from TaeJa. Lost a lot, but he did defend us. A lot of mules as well coming down, which is going to increase his income. He survived, though. That looked like it could have been game over. But TaeJa holds on his natural. But still, the big point is out there that Life has gone untouched. I'm quite sure we're going to see a 5th base placed down very soon. But through going untouched for this long, with a 5th base coming down soon, which I'd expect, we may even see the Infestation pick come down, starting to look towards getting up to Hive.
Yeah,
there's so much freedom that Life has.
We've passed that point where Life's little bit of an early edge has an impact on this game. The 3-3's on the way. He has the supply lead, but, I mean, TaeJa, if he plays really patiently, can maybe hold on. There's actually a contaminant on the command center as the Mutalisk movement. Again, this 3rd base being ravaged. This is where the Mutalisk becomes so scary. He's basically saying, TaeJa, I've done so much damage. At the very least, I'm going to keep you locked in your 3-base setup for a long time. Now the 4th is trying to be established by the Team Liquid Terran. Few Zerglings string by, not able to make anything happen. TaeJa must secure this 4th if he wants to maintain a foothold in this game.
Well, there's a lot of Banelings being morphed down south here, and I think that Life's going to try and prevent that 4th being taken. 45 SCVs. A lot have been slaughtered. These Mutalisks have done a great job so far, and they continue to do so. But here is the Hive coming in. He's looking to further his tech. He's looking to increase his upgrades and ultimately get over to those Ultralisks. But what is Life's next move? TaeJa on the back foot, always defending, always defending. He needs to somehow, you know, make a remarkable defense and find an opportunity to cross the halfway line on this map.
Yeah, Thor does a great job of trying to just shoot away these Mutalisks. He's trying to keep it bay. There's the scan. He sees that the Hive is coming in. So at the very least, TaeJa knows their potential for an Ultralisk switch. The nice thing is that it's not here just yet. He can still crank out a few more Marines. He doesn't have to completely switch his production over as he does secure this base. So eventually we're going to see Marauders start to trickle in if the Ultralisks are the choice. TaeJa needs to be aware of this because Pathogen Glands is actually on the way. Burrow as well. And Life's just keeping his options open for different ways of harassing. I'm kind of wondering with Infestors, where exactly he's going to go with this Hive tech.
Well, TaeJa has established that 4th base and is now mining from it efficiently. 3-3 upgrades are on the way. That's a position where Life can probably start to do something in this game. And there we have a drop to the top right-hand side, a movement through the middle, and TaeJa fights back against what seems to be a dominant Life game so far.
Yeah, that Baneling positioning almost looked like Life was trying to just bait this army out, maybe get a solid surround on it with some of the forces he has towards the south side as well. But there's the Ultralisk Cavern, +3 attack and Carapace for those melee Zerg units. Ooh, TaeJa walking right in. A lot of these Banelings almost going to hit these Marines, should be able to get away. The Widowmine actually takes out a lot. TaeJa gets a decent trade versus these Banelings.
Yeah, a good trade-off there, and he is taking
the
supply lead
Mutalisks
for a little bit, and the Mutalisks are taking a lot of damage there. He gets right underneath with these Marines, and they're about to become 3-3, and he is going to move back to these Banelings, or away from these Banelings, should I say. A scan is going to eliminate these creep tumors, and for the first time in this game, in this 21-minute game, TaeJa's the one that's actually finally been able to do something to start to land some strikes and some blows over to his opponent.
It's critical that on a map where the 4th base is so easy to defend, TaeJa does his best, and now the 5th, even that picking up the Thor and the medevac, saving that guy, keeping him alive. So good versus these Mutalisks, but he will finally get picked off, able to take some more shots. Widowmine's detonating on some of these Banelings. There's still a lot of bio here for TaeJa. He's got a lot of Marines with this. Just Mutalisks can't overwhelm this yet.
This
How many
base
Banelings?
doesn't really want to get picked off here, Nathanias. There's a lot of Marines. There's not too much creep spread to help out. Banelings getting morphed in. And if that face fist goes down, all the drones are coming off. He's really trying to protect it. Even some fungal growths come in. And it looks like Life. Is he going to be able to hold on? Remember, these are 3-3 Marines. No, he's not going to be able to hold on. Maybe these Banelings. Maybe. He's going to pull back. He's going to spread these Marines. And Life. It's so close between these two players. There's so few units for both of them.
The Baneling count's been so low. It's so hard to pick off these Marines.
He's
he
gonna
chases
hold on.
back. Life manages to hold on to this 5th base, but here comes the next wave. Still only 3 Banelings on the map. These Marines, all he needs is a decent spread and some good positioning with these Widow Mines.
The
Another
mines.
Thor as well. This is a lot of hit points coming up. If TaeJa can deny this 5th, this is the most crucial moment here for him to maintain this advantage that he's gotten, at least as far as having an even economy.
All right, is this it? This is where Life's going to go in, and it looks like there's a lot of Marines back there, and they all have 3-3. Not too many Banelings left. Oh, a Widowmine connects and kills off the rest of those Banelings. And once again, TaeJa marches forward. A top fight for this 5th base. Who is going to hold position? The Mutalisks come down once again. A great pick up there from TaeJa to save them from the Banelings. But as you described, this is waypointed rally units from the barracks up here. Consistently waypointed. The archery is going to get picked off just about here. Oh, it's still alive.
18 hit points. The Marines take one shot. The Marauder picks it off. 8-9 Infestors coming out. Life is moving into a very heavy Infestor-based composition, trying to use the Fungals to hold this back. The Ultralisk Cavern's been done for a while, but none of those on the field. He's investing 12 Infestors on the production. He's putting out so many Infestors.
Look at the supply
trying to hold on.
difference. 160 for TaeJa, 113 after cracking that 5th base, and TaeJa has done it. Game number 1 goes over to the Liquid Terran after being on the back foot for almost all of the game.
And TaeJa finally finds a little bit of a hole in Life's armor, able to take this first game, showing the first signs of mortality that we've honestly seen from the StarTale Zerg player in this whole tournament.
And, I mean, as important as that 5th base was to be picked off, I think it was equally important for TaeJa that Life was throwing everything, the kitchen sink included. He was trading so cost inefficiently that once it finally went down, he was putting money and money and money into defending it, and once it died off, there was no way that he was going to be able to do anything with anything at that point, because there's no Ultralisks, as you described. They were important to come out. The Fungals, there was hardly any of them left, and there's no gas left for the Banelings either. Life dedicated a lot of money to holding that 5th, and as soon as that got destroyed, so did his hope for game number 1. TaeJa played excellently.
So the second map is Frost, but I do want to say, you know, it all came down to that last attack and how much Life invested into holding this off. It's important to consider he threw away about, what was it, 10, 12 Banelings on that army outside the 3rd base of TaeJa, and the Baneling count was so low, he was trying to fight off the Marine Mine setup with just those Zerglings, and it's one of those weird situations where the splash damage reduction on the Widow Mine kind of helped TaeJa with keeping his army out there and rallying forth. There wasn't enough splash to just overwhelm him and allow Life to turn things on the other side. Life punishes players that overextend very easily, but without Banelings, with how slow those Infestors moved from all the way down in that main base where the macro hatcheries were, up to that 5th, there was just he just didn't have the mobility he needed to overwhelm TaeJa. And on this map, I still think another macro game could very easily come of this.
Frost is the next map between these two players. Remember, this is just a best of 3. But the winner of this best of 3 goes straight to the grand finals of the DreamHack Open finals here live from DreamHack Winter. A massive position to be in. There's a lot of money if you're in at least top 2. You'd guarantee yourself, it's like $15,000. There's so much money. So much money on the line. And here we are in game number 2.
This man is one game away from getting into that big money. In the top left position, the red Terran player from Team Liquid, the first Terran to really take a big hit on Life. It is TaeJa. He had no TVZ so far in this tournament, but he is bringing it out now for sure against this gentleman in the northeast. A monster in his own right, the Blue Zerg from StarTale. It is Life.
All right, that's the first time really that Life's looking almost human, I think you could describe so far. All the games that we've seen him on the mainstream, he's just dominated. He pushed the Innovation away to move into this winner bracket final. Just Innovation came to the stage, and 15 minutes later he was off the stage packing his keyboard and mouse waiting to play it again tomorrow. But here TaeJa is putting up a very, very strong fight against StarTale Life, and rightfully so. TaeJa's gone undefeated just like Life has. May not have showed as much of a dominance as Life has, considering Life's been on stage quite a lot these past few days. But who is going to move forward to the grand finals? Is it going to be that 16-year-old StarTale Life, or is it going to be Liquid TaeJa, who's already picked up 4 major tournaments this year? Could he get a 5th?
2 champions squaring off for a chance at another championship. A classic tale. So far in this game, TaeJa opting to open up with the Reaper again. Very standard, very similar to the last map. Life, Hatchery is on the way. Don't anticipate him to see him do anything other than take the gas and then get that spawning pool. Perhaps even with this drone moving out, maybe a fast 3rd. But it looks like, I mean, Frost being a 4-player map, this is actually one of those maps where the Reaper was able to do a lot of damage versus the fast 3rd. I think he's anticipating a command center first from TaeJa.
He is. He absolutely is here, but that is not the build of choice from TaeJa. It again is a Reaper expand. Like we saw earlier when Innovation had this, didn't work too well against Life. When Innovation did it versus Jaedong, it did. So let's find out now how this is going to work when TaeJa controls that Reaper. But I think most importantly, how does Life control his drones? I think the difference between Jaedong and Life, when we compare Innovation in the mix, is that Life's drone control was remarkable. He only lost 3. So let's just remember that number 3, and let's compare to how much damage this Reaper can get. Is it less, is it more?
Well, here the Reaper comes, moving across. Life's first Overlord went to the southeast, so he's just now going to be aware of what is headed towards him. The SCV now leaving the base. The Reaper's on the way behind this. He's actually going for just a second Reaper, actually. I think he's kind of realized what the opportunity is in front of him. It looked like he had a very quick reactor building prior. But now the Reaper heads into the main base. What can he do? Spawning pool about 10 seconds away from completing, and he's already going to work on these drones. One very low, trying to get a surround, pinching him by the extractor, but still nothing just yet.
Oof. Just gets onto that extractor in the last second there. But we haven't really seen too many kills yet, have we?
No, Reaper still no kills to its name. The drones, I mean, he can only dance around so much, tries to get the hug of death, but not able to, and in turn loses that next drone. Of course, I mean, at this point, you might actually be forced to finish the extractor or the sport crawler. One more drone trying to shove him back. We will get another kill, and it looks like he might just end up with the same innovation. Got 3 kills as these Zerglings start to come out on the field. Yeah,
3 kills. Second Reaper is here, but the Queens are about to pop out, and that's where Life's going to feel most comfortable. Oh, he gets... No, he doesn't get another one. Great pullback there from Life, and these Reapers are going to go home with 3 kills as the Zerglings are out, the Queens are about to pop. And that was pretty good from Life.
And behind this, TaeJa's going for a third command center. He's playing this very economically, not rushing for the Banshees as we saw in the previous map. And I can't blame him. He managed to pick off, 3 drones. Nothing catastrophic, but it's not like the fact that he went for the 3 hatching before spawning pool changes the way that TaeJa plays this game out. It's just a little bit of a plus for the greedy play that Life made of his own.
And Reaper's still just looking around. Any loose drones they'd love to get their hands on, or should I say their guns on. Any creep tumors as well, anything really. But from this point out, we're all about to have Zergling speed complete. With Zergling speed completing and a couple more being made, 14 being made, that's 60. Oh gosh, he's actually building quite a few here. And it looks like Life may be looking to get him to the other side of the map rather fast.
Yeah.
And is he going to be able to do damage? There's a wall-off started to be created, but there's already Hellions out. 24 Zerglings in production. The wall is starting to be made. It's not there yet. It's not ready. If he somehow surprises these Hellions, whether he goes for a run by and doesn't even show the Hellions that they're there, this is a big play by Life. Is it going to pay off? He's invested a lot of money into these lings.
Yeah, and he sends them around the top side so that TaeJa's not quite as aware. There's still a wall-off not done yet. He only has 2 supply depots. If these Zerglings can come in from the side, surround these Hellions and grab all of them, he might just be able to end the game. There's not even a wall-off between the natural and the main base. 16 more Zerglings on the production tab. This is going to come purely down to how quickly TaeJa can react and control his Hellions versus this assault. There's no Baneling Nest either. He's just going pure Ling.
Well, I mean, where are the Hellions going to be is a big question here. Are they going to be out in the open? Does a surround happen? Does he move out and not see them coming from behind?
I mean, with this many Hellions, all he really needs to do is get this next supply depot.
Oh, the Hellions are moving out.
Through, it all comes down to positioning that. Zerglings get us surrounded, and at least 1, 2 of the Hellions getting picked off. SCVs immediately being brought forth either to repair or tank some damage as Life just pours through with these Zerglings, but the SCVs hold position. Very smart play. TaeJa holds on.
This is a massive hold for TaeJa. This is huge. There is so much money invested into this. Look at the SCV count to the drone count. 39 to 22. So much of his economy was thrown into those Zerglings. There's a 3rd command center down. There's double engineering base. Stim is almost done. That was a massive gamble by Life. A huge gamble. And very simply, like me when I tried to gamble, it didn't work. And now he's even further behind than he could have been. And just a regular game, he's so far behind now.
And I like this. I like what TaeJa's done. He actually tries to put out just another 2 more Hellions before he switches that off for the barracks. Keeping his Hellion count nice and high could allow him to get this 3rd command center without too much trouble. Life is great at the harass and bringing the pressure, but he scans and sees Evo Chambers just starting. No lair. He recognizes he has this lead, and if he can hold on to this 3rd command center without taking any side swipes, I think TaeJa's in a fantastic spot moving forward with this game.
You have to be very careful when you're TaeJa. Even though you're winning, you're leading this game, you have to be careful. We've seen what happened to Innovation when he took a lead and moved out and counterattacked and then almost just lost in an instant. TaeJa needs to kind of secure his lead. Play it defensive. Don't move out too early. Sit back. You've got 1-1 much faster than your opponent. You're going to have 2-2. You've got better tech. You've got a better economy. As long as he doesn't do anything too daring, he should be in good position. Look at this. Life's building even more Zerglings at this point. Still down to 46 drones. He's going up to 26 more, 28 more Zerglings. He's actually bringing the fight to TaeJa. TaeJa just needs to defend.
Yeah, I feel like what he's hoping to do is just catch TaeJa exposed outside, make TaeJa underestimate the number of Zerglings, because when you look at Life's setup, you kind of imagine he can't really afford to put out these units if he wants to rebuild that economy. And you see Evolution Chambers, you think, okay, he's just going to try to play from behind, but that's not how Life likes to do this. He's got so many Lings on the field, 14, 16 more in production, Baneling Nest on the way. He already has 50 Zerglings on the map. He's not going to give up on trying to find a hole in TaeJa's setup.
He's just going to go, by the looks of it, for just a massive Baneling bust from what he's actually shown us present with the units he's got out and the units coming. But TaeJa already has 2-2. Medivacs are out here, and he has a big drop, and this is just going to bring Life back, and this is going to delay an attack. Life's already there, but you can actually drop one Medivac on the high ground, one on the low ground. It's going to be very difficult to do that. Oh, a couple of Marines are caught out there.
Well, he does actually manage to raise the depots. The Hellions are here in Life, not able to make that big counterattack that he wanted, trying to go to the third base while these Hellions are distracted with the Zerglings outside the natural. And he's trying to get something, but a little bit of an attack on the refinery first. The SCVs look like they're actually going to make it out for the most part.
And remember that there is no layer. This is like just a big all-in, really coming from Life. He's just trying to throw a lot of money into this attack. Is it going to work? The supply isn't too different between the two players. TaeJa's identified what's going on. He is going to come back to try to defend. He's not really going to be able to mine from this third base until he cleans out these Zerglings, but there's a lot more where they came from. There's going to be 1-1 upgrades on them as well, and there's going to be a lot of Banelings being morphed. 23 Banelings being morphed. Life usually is able to find a way back into a game that he was playing from behind in. Is this going to be another one of those games?
I mean, with no more Hellions on the map, it all comes down to TaeJa's positioning and control on these Marines. The Banelings are making their way. He wants to crash the wall, break open his defenses, and allow him to get to that production. He's even trying to avoid these Marines that are giving chase, gets in on the supply depots, hits the bunker with the Banelings. Life is trying to make this work. More Zerglings being produced, streaming across the field now. TaeJa actually getting a pretty decent trade. The Banelings getting these SCVs, manages to save a few of them, and TaeJa still, the huge supply lead, is not dead yet.
He's not dead yet, but he's got to the third base. He's killed quite a few SCVs, 39 to 45, but the economy is still in favor of TaeJa with mules. The army supply in favor of TaeJa as well. A couple of Lings do break into the main base, but a big pickup by TaeJa. He says, I've got enough to deal with this. He's going to drop a couple of units, and then he's going to make a beeline straight towards the main base, I'd imagine. And this could be very difficult to deal with. There's the pickup again.
So it's important to consider that TaeJa does not have that wall replaced just yet. Life could try to, he's just making more Banelings. He could try to go for a secondary assault, but I feel like this is not quite like that game versus Innovation. He doesn't have Mutalisks.
The spread from the Marines when they come out the Medivacs, watch this. They're going to be everything. How can he stop this? There's two attack upgrades on these.
Yeah, these Marines, they're super powered at this point. Only the 1-1, as you mentioned, for the Zerglings. He's coming in. He's killing the Overlord. He's moving towards that main hatch. The Zerglings are bringing everything they've got. Without Baneling speed, these guys aren't even going to be a part of this fight. Everything dying for Life. Says, okay, leave the Marauder here, and just splits his Marines off creep. Life seems to have met his match here at this tournament. He's being completely shut down. No more Banelings, just pure Lings being streamed through, but with the 2-2 upgrades, not even the drones will be able to stop this. GG, TaeJa is going to the grand final.
A player that looked unstoppable. Liquid TaeJa is the one to keep Life down. TaeJa go to the grand finals. He's banked himself at least $15,000. He's got a good rest. There's a lot of games to be played out before anybody challenges TaeJa. It's not Liquid Hero in the finals yet. It's TaeJa who's taking that for now. And well, what a series from TaeJa. What a series. Great play from the Liquid Terran.
Talk about running into a brick wall. Life has been on a tear, sprinting through this tournament, sprinting through these brackets. Many other Terran players that throughout this year have almost each been called one of the best at Terran versus Zerg, but TaeJa says, I don't need the hype. I've got my results to back me up, and he really showed it in this match. And well, I mean, we're going to have a Team Liquid player at the very least for a third DreamHack final in a row.
That's right. There's always been a Liquid player in the finals of DreamHack Winter. TaeJa makes his second DreamHack Winter final. He's made, or could make, a fifth major tournament final. Liquid TaeJa goes 7-0, undefeated so far at DreamHack Winter. Let's hear some thoughts.
Thank you very much, Apollo. Congratulations, TaeJa, our first grand finalist at DreamHack Winter. Oh my gosh, you could just see the happiness on his face. I just want to talk about that first game. It just really seemed like Life was ahead that entire time, and somehow TaeJa was able to bring it back and able to take the game. I just want to see what his thoughts were going through that game itself and how he was able to get through that game and able to win. 이제 그 첫 번째 경기에서 이제 솔직히 좀 불리해 보였어요. 근데 어떻게 해서 이길 수 있었던 것 같으세요?
진짜 엄청 많이 불리했던 것 같아요. 제가 솔직히 제 앞마당 쪽에 저그 병력이 왔을 때 지지칠까 생각했는데 의료선 하나가 정말 대박을 쳤더라고요. 그래가지고 이것만 막으면은 어떻게 할 수 있다라는 생각이 있어가지고 계속 꾸역꾸역 하다 보니까 승현이가 좀 실수가 좀 많이 있었던 것 같아요. 그것 때문에 이긴 것 같아요.
So he says, I do feel I was extremely at a huge disadvantage. Actually, when life came towards my natural with all his units, I was considering typing GG. But then I had sort of a miracle with one of my medevacs, and then from then on, I just kept fighting. And I think that at a certain point, life started to make a lot of mistakes, and that's why I was able to actually come back from that deficit and win the game. Now, in that second game, we saw that Life went for a 3-hatch before pool, and TaeJa opened up with Reapers, and he actually didn't do quite as much damage as he might have done or was expected to have done. So I want to see what his thoughts were going into the game after that. So in 두 번째 경기에서는 이제 그 이승현 선수가 그 3매치 풀 전에 했는데 그 이제 사신을 했잖아요. 그래서 이득을 그렇게 크게는 못 봤어요. 그 생각보다는. 그래서 거기서부터 경기를 하면서 어떻게 무슨 생각을 하고 했는지.
일단 사신으로는 진짜 많이 피해줬다고 생각하고요. 또 제가 엄청 원래 제가 빌드를 땡더블로 정했었는데 게임하기 전에 형한테 긴 말이 와가지고 사신 더블로 하라고 해가지고 사신 더블 했는데 운 좋게 빌드가 갈려가지고 되게 유리하게 시작했는데 그걸 또 이기게 돼서 되게 기뻐요.
So he actually says, I do feel like my Reapers did a lot of damage. Prior to the game, I actually was planning on doing a fast expand, but one of my older brothers, Hyung's, actually came up to me and said, I actually think you should do a Reaper expand, and I think that I really owe that to him, that I was able to choose that strategy and start with a really big advantage and end up winning the whole series 2-0. Now, TaeJa, you are in the grand finals of DreamHack Winter. I know that you've been waiting for this moment, and you've said on Twitter, I've won 4 tournaments, but I've only gotten 10K from each. You know, it doesn't feel like enough. If you were to win this grand finals, what would that mean to you? 이제 트위터로 솔직히 대회는 많이 이겼지만 우승했지만 그래도 이제 만불만 받았다고 이렇게 얘기를 했는데. 이제 이번에 우승하게 된다면 그게 무슨 의미일 것 같으세요?
이번에 우승하게 되면 뭐 딱히 일단 돈을 많이 벌었으니까 나중에 은퇴하고 많이 쓸 수 있을 것 같아요. 네.
He says, if I win this game, I know that I'll have earned a lot. So I think in the future, I'll be able to retire comfortably since I've earned so much. TaeJa, best of luck in the grand finals against whoever you may face. And thank you again, of course, for taking the time to do this interview. Guys, well, that'll wrap up this interview. When we come back, we'll have Jaedong versus JYP. So stay tuned.